E-commerce has taken over the world. Platforms like Amazon, Taobao, and eBay represented 20% of all shopping in 2022.
Ho, ho, ho! Keep buying more stuff. It's very important for the climate. But maybe I'm not the target audience for these kinds of shops. I get anxious ordering a $10 piece of camera equipment. So we talked to people on the streets this Christmas about their shopping habits.
I do some online shopping and some going to shops.
I do often shop online.
I've done online shopping before, and I usually shop clothes.
These e-commerce platforms do have legitimate benefits. One-day delivery has saved my bacon on many a shoot. You can buy anything you want online today, from car accessories, car insurance, or an actual car.
How do you feel about your online shopping experience?
I feel great.
I think it's good. It's very convenient.
There's a lot more variety.
Usually it's been okay. I find with clothing it's not always successful, but if I'm ordering books or those kind of things, it's usually quite successful.
But if it's not always successful, that means there's a way to make it better. So what's the future of shopping?
Oh, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome.
Mark Zuckerberg, the father of Facebook, would say that's the Metaverse, a place where you can interact with and buy physical items, work or enjoy time with friends, all on the same platform, preferably Metas. Lovely.
The promise of the Metaverse was essentially immersing users across a whole variety of different types of content and experiences. Immersive experiences are meant to provide users with more options and more engagement, that users can come in real time, communicate with each other, try on products. Right now we're seeing a lot of increase, especially in AR try-ons, like augmented reality.
The initial Metaverse promise was focused on three core aspects, which are community, work, and shopping. For this episode, we'll focus on the shopping aspect.
Metaverse is quite a vague term though, so we went and asked people what they thought it meant.
Metaverse, I heard of the concept, but I've never really seen it.
You have the piece, you wear it, then you do the shopping, like that?
I'd imagine I could try on what I'm buying in advance or digitally.
If you're saying metaverse shopping, I'd imagine 3D scenes where I'm able to dress up virtually.
Brands were tripping over one another to create Metaverse shops a few years ago, prompting what is the Metaverse to probably trend more than the actual Metaverse for a while.
Metaverse is now out of the hype cycle, but from all accounts I could find,
The Metaverse is still projected to make boatloads of money.
so how come our revenue's rising?
So this is Wendy, who's been helping me out with the research for this episode.
I think most of sales come from like gaming industry, like Shoplogs or Fortnite.
A lot of these current users and a lot of the data that's hyped up, they're looking at platforms like Roblox and Fortnite, where a lot of the Gen Z users are spending their time, they're spending their money. You know, if you just simply look at Forever 21, one of their recent biggest wins was actually a launch on Roblox, I believe, where they launched a pink beanie for a US dollar, sold 1.5 million units.
Now, to clarify, that is a digital beanie that you're not able to wear in the real world. That is basically a skin for your character in Roblox. You're not able to transfer it to other games or to use it on other platforms.
So it's kind of incidental to Metaverse, but there's this whole market that's popping up. That definitely makes more sense. It also breaks the definition of the Metaverse, where we're talking about games like Roblox and Fortnite, which don't really adhere to the standard of the Metaverse, which is you're supposed to be able to buy something and use it anywhere or transfer it anywhere, which is not the case in these games, right?
The concept itself is quite like unclear. So many people will say like maybe gaming industry is also metaverse, but some people may not agree.
We talked to Lucid Worlds, who has an interesting take on the way that platforms on the Metaverse exist and the way that shops should be able to own their own experiences.
My name is Lewis Lupton. I'm the Chief Metaverse Officer for Shadow Factory. What we're doing at Lucid Worlds is essentially creating a platform that simply enables creators, users, and businesses to create and consume immersive experiences with extreme ease.
You also had people try this.
Okay, it's not coming up, but I can tell you straight away that it wouldn't be my preference.
All the products has been basically populated automatically into every single available hotspot in this space. Now, each of these hotspots are entirely customizable.
If I'm going to do something online, I wanted it to be quick. If I'm going to have interactions, I'd rather they were human to human.
Actually feels like I'm playing a game. I mean, obviously it's virtual, so
there's that component to that. And honestly, I feel like I wouldn't do it because it kind of feels a bit too fake.
Then the metaverse I imagined is also like, at least not now, but in the future, is the one with the, the thing that you take and then you can really move. Yeah, the VR thing.
The VR thing, if you're not familiar, is virtual reality. These are headsets that you put on your face and basically immerse you into a virtual experience. That was a huge part of the sales pitch for the initial Metaverse experience, but as sellers have realized, it's much easier to have people buy things when they're in an environment and using devices that they're familiar with. Additionally, these headsets have a high cost, which has deterred virtual reality adoption.
For us, we've always kept Lucid Worlds as a fully web-based platform because downloading an app and having sort of hardware requirements before accessing these experiences are a barrier to entry. You don't need to lose the 2D side. It's not meant to say, hey, this is better than the physical stuff.
We did come across an interviewee who loved virtual reality, but he expected this kind of platform to be much cooler than it looks now.
What it's doing now doesn't look great?
We can go around and see what we want to buy. Using this platform, I could say it provides us a better shopping experience. We can see the product a bit more directly, but visually, it's a bit lacking.
Yeah, so it definitely feels clunky around the edges for Lucid Worlds and for lots of other Metaverse experiences. There's some that have varying levels of quality.
Now, to be fair to Lucid Worlds, their pitch is that brands are able to come into their platform, have a baseline of what a virtual experience could look like, play around with it to see if people are looking for that kind of experience from them, and then customize it more.
Again, before tapping into or even spending into a 3D model, like I said, if you're able to generate the data to see, look, do my users even want this experience? Does this actually matter to me? Are they interested in 3D products or do they still prefer 2D? That data helping you to decide how to move forward in the space, for us, I think that's the most important bit.
In my personal opinion, having seen the sites from Lucid Worlds and other platforms, these all kind of fall short due to the poor graphics quality that's necessary to make things load in a reasonable amount of time, and despite all that, the long load times that it takes and how slowly it runs on less optimized computers. What got lost in the messaging during the peak of the Metaverse hype was that these were all concepts for the future of the Metaverse, and that the currently existing platforms were basically all in the same state as they exist today.
You don't have that particular store nearby. It's meant to just be a solution to help and give, again, provide a purpose, right? To solve a particular problem.
This is not something that I would use. I would much rather use a 2D website or go to a store myself. I optimally would like to not buy anything at all if I can. So I'm not the target audience.
What's more important for me is the price and quality of the item.
For an e-commerce platform, the most important is the variety of products. First and foremost, is it a place that sells what customers want?
For me personally, I think that a brighter future for shopping would be if platforms focused on regulating scammers and really crack down on one-time use items that are terrible for the environment. I don't have any delusions as to that actually being the future that takes place, but it seems about as likely as the Metaverse's most ardent defendants claims that this is just around the corner.
Lead us to the end of this week's Tech Asia. If you're interested in seeing more from us, you can check out last week's episode or stay subscribed so that you can check out next week's episode. Till then, I think you can take care.